So we are here in Wisconsin. We've come to make a Jubilee pilgrimage to the shrine of Our Lady of Champion, who is also known as Our Lady of Good Help.
And it is the only approved Marian apparition in the U.S. So of course we had to come out and visit it, and of course we're taking you with us.
The story of Our Lady of Champion, who is also known as Our Lady of Good Help, begins in 1859 when the Blessed Mother appeared in Wisconsin to a young Belgian immigrant named Adele Bryce. She had promised the Blessed Mother on her first communion day that she would teach catechism to children. And in case you're wondering about her eye, she had damaged it or injured it in a household accident, so she was blind in that eye. In any case, the Blessed Mother appeared to her and said, "Hey, remember that time when you said that you would teach catechism? You need to get going with that." She told Adele to go and teach the children, and Adele took that message to heart. So at first she went out on her own, but after a few years she gathered a community of sisters to help her in this important work. And over the next several years, a series of small chapels was built on the apparition site.
So we first read about Adele and the Blessed Mother in this book, The Woman in the Trees by Theoni Bell, and we thought it was amazing, so we've been wanting to go to the shrine and visit ever since.
Because not only did the Blessed Mother appear there, which is great, but there's also another miracle connected to the shrine that happened on October 8th, 1871. So that was the year and the day of the Great Fire in Chicago, but there was another fire going on in Wisconsin that was bigger and deadlier. So same day, same year, but this one was called the Peshtigo Fire.
So this was the deadliest wildfire in America and killed over 1,000 people. It burned over 1 million acres, and it burned 17 towns in Adele's area. However, the people living by the shrine took shelter at the shrine, and although the fire came right up to the wooden fence on the shrine's property, it never actually came inside.
So the fire literally bypassed the shrine. Everyone inside the shrine's property, all the people, the animals, they all survived. And that miracle was attributed to Our Lady of Good Help.
The shrine is also a designated pilgrimage site for the Jubilee Year. So when we heard that, we were like, okay, this year we're going to go. And so we did. So we're going to take you to the shrine with us, plus give you a little tour of our tiny little cottage that we stayed in, which was only 10 minutes from the shrine.
We also visited 2 other churches in the area, and we didn't know it beforehand, but they are also designated pilgrimage sites for the Jubilee, so that was awesome. And we do want to show you a little bit of what we did in our downtime.
We also met one of our viewers on this trip, which was absolutely a blessing. So let's go ahead and get started. So here we are arriving on the shrine grounds. Very beautiful. It was a bright, beautiful day. And right up front, there were a lot of statues, including this one of St. Joseph that we really liked. And the grounds were quite extensive. They went back quite a way. So we stopped, we took a quick look at the map, and then we headed over to this beautiful statue of Our Lady of Fatima. Now, like we mentioned, we did meet some of our viewers. So we met August, who brought her son, and who also came with her friend Molly, who's on the right. And they offered to give us a tour of the shrine, which was amazing and so wonderful. And then here, this is the walk into the oratory, the site of the apparition. And when you go inside, you go right down these steps. And then when you go in, you have the actual apparition site where the statue of Mary is where she appeared. And it's very beautiful down there. It's very calm and peaceful. Well, there I am again. There's lots of statues and candles. Just, you can tell that this is holy ground. It's a beautiful place to sit and pray and reflect. Now, in the back of the oratory, there is an extensive collection of relics. So many relics of many different saints here, even a relic of the True Cross. And when we were visiting, it was the feast of St. Barnabas, and so they had a relic of his up in the main church, which was also very beautiful. We did get to attend Mass. And then this footage is from the sort of history little museum they had. They have this scrapbook. They actually had 2 scrapbooks that were fascinating to look through, getting to see all of the different news articles and all of the different pictures. They also had other objects. This was Adele's songbook. They had this beautiful crucifix. And then these are the roots from the trees Mary appeared in front of. Now, out back, there were extensive grounds, like I mentioned. They had an entire rosary walk, which was very, very beautiful. And everything that you see inside the fence here was the ground that was not touched by the fire. This is a little, I guess, replica of a roadside shrine. These were very common in Adele's day. We did find Our Lady of Lourdes here, a little Our Lady of Lourdes grotto, as well as one of our old friends, St. Therese. And they also had a very nice Way of the Cross.
I just love what Our Lady said to Adele so many years ago. And she said, go and fear not, I will help you.
Come to Wisconsin, we're praying for you. Shrine of Our Lady of Champion would love to have you visit too.
Yep.
Now, next to the oratory is Adele's gravesite. So we stopped and visited that, and her cause for sainthood is just been opened, so stay tuned for that.
Okay, so we want to give you a look inside our little tiny cottage. We found this through the Shrine's website. It was recommended as a place to stay, and it was right up the street from Lake Michigan. So that was really fun. We could just walk out the door, 30 seconds down the street, and there we were on the shores of the lake. It was a little chilly while we were there, but we did enjoy some sunsets. And now we're going back inside the house to give you a look at that. It was 500 to 600 square feet, I think. It could sleep 6, but it was more than enough room for just the 2 of us. So here we are in the living room. Everything was so clean and tidy, and everything we needed was provided. There was a TV, there was this little game cabinet for playing games. There were 2 bedrooms, each with a queen-size bed. So again, it could sleep up to 6. I'm not sure where the other 2 people would fit, though, if you had 2 people in each bedroom. But there was a closet, and everything was bright and green in Wisconsin in June. Here's a look inside the bathroom. I don't know if you want to go inside the bathroom, but if you did want to go, here you go. Again, everything was sparkling clean. The kitchen was our favorite, though, because the owner of the cottage provided so many little luxuries for us, like coffee, tea, Ziploc bags. We didn't have to buy anything to feel comfortable there. There was even a washer and dryer with laundry detergent provided. Full-size refrigerator. They even left us a little s'mores making kit. How nice was that? Even the coffee mugs were bright and cheerful, so it was just a pleasure to walk into that kitchen and make a cup of tea or coffee. And we just felt really snug and cozy in the cottage all the time that we were there.
The second church that we visited is the Cathedral of St. Francis Xavier in downtown Green Bay. And we had heard this church was highly recommended, but didn't really know anything about it. So when we visited, we were truly blown away by how beautiful this church is inside, as you can see in this video. Just beautiful stained glass and paintings, artwork. Absolutely a gorgeous church. Now, we did have some trouble getting inside because the doors were jammed, but the ladies in the office were amazing and they let us in, which we are eternally grateful for. And you can see at the back of the church right here, that's the stained glass over one of the side doors and an up close there. And these are the confessionals, even those were unique. There I am with one of the statues on the grounds. There was also a book and gift shop, so of course we visited that.
So in case you're wondering what we're doing in our downtime, it's this foldology where they give you a little sheet of paper like this with picture, and then you have to fold it all so that only the picture shows on front and the green squares are on back. This is driving us insane. It's fun and addictive, but it takes us a while for some of them, right? Because it seems like it should be easy, but it's totally a fun challenge. The last pilgrimage church we visited was the Holy Hill Basilica and Shrine of Mary, Help of Christians, which is such an incredible church. And yes, it is definitely on a holy hill. You are walking up quite a ways to get to the main church, but it is totally worth it. Look how beautiful this church is. So many details that we loved inside and out. Look at this door. We don't have doors like this at our church. And inside, it was just incredibly lovely. When we arrived, Mass was just starting, so that was great. And then we went downstairs to the Chapel of St. Therese, which had a really neat feature. All along the sides, it had the story of her life depicted in stained glass windows. So we really enjoyed walking those and seeing those and recalling all the stories from her life. Here she is in the garden with her father. But this next one was our favorite. It's the famous meeting between St. Therese and Pope Leo XIII. Then in a side hallway, we came upon a whole series of murals that depict the different titles of the Blessed Mother, which were just so beautiful. And then outside, there were life-size Stations of the Cross. It was so beautiful to walk in the lovely natural setting and pray the stations. We've heard it's even better in the fall, but we thought it was pretty good just as it was. And that's also where we found out about the tour of the relics of St. Therese coming this fall.
So we absolutely loved our trip to Wisconsin. We did some hiking and just enjoyed a lot of the natural beauty and the beaches.
We also ate a lot of cheese, and Kate was really brave and climbed all the way to the top of the Cana Lighthouse, whereas someone else we know was too chicken to do that. However, the highlight was visiting the Shrine of Our Lady of Champion and meeting some new friends and getting to know Adele Bryce better. She was a catechist and I'm a catechist, so I find her story so inspiring. Go and teach the children.
So that was our Jubilee Year pilgrimage. If you've ever been to any of these places, let us know in the comments.
So we hope you enjoyed the video today. Our Lady of Champion, pray for us. Bye.